Today I want to tell you guys about the power of fasting. Now, the whole story is about how I met Honorable Kimani Ngunjiri, the former MP of Bahati constituency. So what happened? I woke up one day and I decided, let me message 3-4 people that I would love to have a sit-down interview with, just to hear their life history, how their politics has been over the years. So I sent out the messages. So I'm relaxing and I get a call. I pick the call. I'm listening to this voice and I know this is the voice of Honorable Kimani Ngunjiri because I'm a political analyst and I do listen a lot into their speeches and whatnot. So I knew this is definitely him. He said his daughter had told him about me. Turns out she's the one managing his pages, and he told him, Dad, definitely take this interview. So he told me, no problem, when can we do this? I told him, let's do it on, I can't remember, was it Monday or Tuesday? Let's assume it was Tuesday. So I told him, let's do it on Tuesday at this hotel. We'll do it at the VIP room. He said, no problem, that's okay, because Monday he had to be at another TV station and so on and so forth. So I said, that's cool. We waited for Tuesday. So in preparation, I had a DSLR camera, and those cameras usually shoot for 29.5 minutes and they go off. Doesn't mean it has no power, but it has to cut at 29.5 minutes. Then you have to restart to proceed with the interview. So I was like, in case this interview will drag on and go all the way till 1 hour 30 minutes, you never know how much content is going to come out of the interview. Let me just go and buy a new battery for the camera so that if one dies, I install the other and we can proceed. So I went to town. I got a new battery. It was so expensive. I was shocked. It was 5,000 and something for the battery. I also needed a tripod stand. So I spent around 2,000 thereabouts to get the tripod. Then for the VIP room of the hotel that we were doing the interview, I had talked to the manager. I told him, listen, I'm in media. Why don't you give me this space? I be conducting interviews. And once we do the interviews, I'll be marketing you guys. You get free viewership and you can get clients or 2 out of that. So he said, that's fine, but at least buy a snack. We won't book you for the VIP room, but buy a snack. So I bought breakfast. It was around 2,500, something like that. And so I was actually ready for the interview. Now, a day before, I was walking, going on other errands, and I met my Bishop Mayu. So I asked him, what are you doing in my neighborhood? And you can't tell me you come have a cup of tea at my house. He said, I'm here. I've brought my car to be fixed at the garage. Then I can leave. So I told him, how long are you here? He told me, I might be here the whole day. I don't know. But once you're done with your errands and you're back, let me know if you're in the vicinity. Then we can perhaps visit you as we leave. So when I got back, I called him. He was around. And he said, that's fine. I can visit you. He came with his sons, 2 sons. And so there we were at home. Now what happened? I offered them food, but the bishop refused to eat. Why? He was fasting. Even his firstborn son was fasting. It was the lastborn who was able to eat. So me and him, we had something to eat as we chatted away. Now on his way out, I had told him about this interview that's upcoming tomorrow. On his way out, I didn't have much because remember all the expenses I had been buying the battery, doing this and that. So I think I had just 1,000 left. So I gave it to him just to, say thank you for coming all the way. And so on his way out, he prayed and thanked God for this 1,000. He asked God to bless me. And then he also prayed that Honorable Kimani Ngunjiri to appear for that interview and not to abscond it. So I felt okay because of those prayers. I said, everything is set. A man of God has come here. He has prayed and he's even fasting. So that's even more devastatingly effective. All right, game, set, match. Day of the interview. I get there early, we set up the cameras, we set up the lights, we set up everything. The food is in the hallway, you can go picking as you enter the room. And then I call Mheshimiwa, not available. Call him again, not available. Third time it rings and he picks. And I could tell he had just woken up. Turns out he had a very lengthy interview in one of the TV stations that invited him the night before. So he was just waking up. The interview is at 10, he's just waking up at 9 something. And for some reason, he could have decided to cancel. He could have decided not to pick my call. He could have decided to postpone and we would have no option. We'd have to oblige. But he got in his car and he came all the way with his PA and we had the interview. Now here's the interesting bit. At the end of this interview, I had spent around 10,000 by this point, just for this one interview. And at the end of this interview, he reached in his coat and he said, take this 10,000, young man, you're doing a good job. You tell me if that is not God. Remember, you're just a political analyst who's starting out. You're a nobody. You're not in the inner circles of Kenya Kwanza, the way some people like believing. You're not in the inner circles of any political whatever. You just sent out messages and one leader accepted. A day before the meeting, God avails a man of God who is actually fasting, and he prays over the issue. And on the day of the meeting, it looked like Mheshimiwa will not come, but he actually came for the interview, and he returned all the money that I had spent up until the day of that interview. And that is why I tell people there is God. Things don't happen by mere chance. God is the orchestrator and architect of everything. There is nothing under the sun that flies without his say-so. So moral of the story, fasting is devastatingly effective. The fact that the man of God was fasting and he prayed over the issue led to a series of miracles. What looked like a failure to attend became an actual attendance. What looked like unnecessary expenses became restitution. But either way, guys, that's just a small story I wanted to share with you about the power of fasting. And if you do enjoy this kind of videos, you can subscribe on YouTube at High Altitude Ministries, or you can subscribe on TikTok still at High Altitude Ministries. And with that, bye-bye.